Hi you guys, I'm going to talk loudly because I don't want the wind to come in and make it so you can't hear me. But anyway, we are in what they call Indian summer. It's hot, believe it or not, but then they'll be cold at night and the leaves are turning, and we don't get this in Florida. But so it's really, really neat to be here. But anyway, okay, I know I messed up. I was supposed to do shout outs, and I'm not gonna say again, I'm gonna do it on this and this day or this day. I'm just gonna try to do it every once in a while, because once you say something, then it never happens and you get messed up. Oh, here's the wind. I hope you can hear me. Okay. And also, I'm gonna try just to do me twice a week, but also do my, one of my friends with an interesting story once a week. But as I said, you can't plan because things happen. So anyway, that's my disclaimer. So I want to give shout outs to Aiden Myrick, ADYNMYRICK, and Elizabeth Ann. And also I've got two people with birthdays coming up, but I want to be able to say it on their birthday, but Dom Harkin, and then my friend Confident Bean, they're going to be having birthdays. Dom's going to be turning 16, and then Confident Bean is going to be turning 13. But those are both biggies, right? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that word because biggies to me means something else. If you saw my video on Timmy's show, it means poop. But anyway, so I'm gonna get right to it, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna catch up. What's the word? No, I'm gonna continue. Sorry. I'm gonna continue where I left off. That now I'm in YWAM, Youth with a Mission. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, Jose, you're really, really distracting me with pictures, please. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what happened with, just because somebody wears the name Christian doesn't mean that they're gonna act like a Christian should act, like one would think, that Jesus would act, or how God is so loving and kind and everything. Because you know what? There's a lot of baby Christians out there, and the baby Christians are full of crap, right? Still, and the one word that comes to my mind sometimes, I know that how many years ago? Almost 37 years ago, I was so messed up. I mean, you can't expect it to be like in Bewitched, where she just twinkles her nose and somebody acts perfect, or, it's not like that. It's like, and this is where my kids have had, can you hear me? The wind. Oh well, this is where my kids have had a lot of confusion and they've not wanted to go to church because there have been some people who have been really rude to them. Some people who call themselves Christians, and they are Christians. They've let Jesus into their life, but sometimes even people who have been Christians for a long time don't give him permission to change them, and they act like the A word, right? That's how a lot of people act. And what I tell my kids is that a church is a hospital. That's what a church really is. And you gotta give them slack, because none of us are perfect, and we're all filled with crap, right? So that was all to say, I was so messed up, and I continued to be messed up for a long time. And I don't even know how the people in England have the grace to put up with me. But they showed me, they were more mature, and they showed me the loving kindness of God, even though I was I really acted out. what I've told you that I was like, right? In one of my first videos, I told you that I was so filled with all this anger, and I would throw tantrums, and I hated the little girl down the street for no reason. I wanted to kill her for no reason, right? That's how I was from the time I was little. Well, that stuff was still in me. And, oh, by the way, you know, I was 4 years in England, and a lot of the stories get mixed up. They're not in order. You know, like a lot of the things I'm going to tell you are just out of order, but oh well. And then later on, I'm going to tell you stories when I was in Colombia, and then in Puerto Rico, and then so on, so on. And sometimes it's just not in order, but oh well. Okay, so when I was in, by the grace of God, by the grace of God, after I was 1 year as a, you know, learning as a student there, I didn't want to go home. I really felt like I was supposed to continue on just being a missionary, right? And you know what? Thankfully, I had been able to hide my true colors for a long time, for that whole year. Basically, people didn't have a chance to get to know me that well, and I was able to pull off that, okay, I was a baby Christian, but I was still maybe halfway normal. Well, anyway, so because I had just finished secretarial school and graduated as quote-unquote an executive secretary, but the only thing I remember is how to type. So I don't even know how I graduated as an executive secretary, because I had none of the skills. I acted my way through that too. But anyway, so I had this in my background, so they didn't still know my true colors, and so it opened up that there was a position to be the receptionist there. And so I said that I would love to stay on as the receptionist. And then, man, they didn't know what they were going to have to put up with me. So, okay, I want to tell you, after I went on staff, my best friend was Marina. And I love her so much. I wish I could see her. She's in England with her husband Nick and their kids Carrie and Reuben, and they are doing something so wonderful. They've got what's called a healing bus, and she's such a wonderful person. They go around all throughout England and they pray for people to be healed, and they see people being healed. But anyway, what happened was, she was a baby Christian too, and we were both messed up, really, really messed up. But birds of a feather flocked together, and we became best friends, and we would hang out together. Well, all right, what happened was, I had all of this stuff in me. Remember, all of this like anger, and when I was young, I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, like, I can remember when I was in a carpool when I was about 13. And this girl in the carpool, I couldn't stand her. She was one of the ones that I just couldn't stand. She didn't do anything wrong to me. It was just, I don't know why. But anyway, she must have looked at me wrong or something. And her mom was driving the car, and I think it was just the two of us. Maybe there was another girl. And all of a sudden, I leaped on her and I started to pull her hair, and I was just... That's how I used to express myself when I was young, right? Well, that was still in me, pushed down. So this is just, I think that, is time running short? Okay, so anyway, Marina and I were we were, you know, kind of on the same level, but all of a sudden she got kind of promoted. And I got this huge jealousy towards her that was down in me, right? And I don't know what happened. She looked at me wrong one day, and she was my best friend, and I leaped on her and started to tear into her, and just a true cat fight with, I don't know how I abused my best friend. Well, believe me, that was the beginning when they started to see my true colors. And I had been in on the staff. There was a girls' room that was really big, that had its own personal bathroom for the staff, and then there was a lesser bathroom. The one that had the bathroom on the inside of it was for the permanent staff, and I was considered permanent staff, so I got to be in there. And then there was a lesser one for kind of temporary staff, and they had to share the bathroom with the 12 other girls, and it was really, really cramped quarters. Guess what? I got because this is how they dealt with me, and I was on being observed, and I was, after that, they prayed with me, and thank God they didn't kick me out. They just had mercy, and we were able just to, you know, they really, really acted like Jesus to me. And that was the first time I really knew, like, unconditional love from another person, except my family, you know, they put up with me, but they showed me a lot of grace and mercy and unconditional love. And okay, but I was demoted. I had to be in this other room. Even though I was permanent staff, I was in this lesser room, sharing my room again, and it was a humbling experience. But anyway, this is kind of the stuff that I was, you know, some of the stuff I was going through. But next time I'm going to tell some stories of when we would go on the road into the continental Europe. And it's very, we had a lot of adventures. And I still had my problems, but anyway, well, I love you guys, and dream big and go for it.